Hey, we're going to start by talking about the sermon this week. Lots of times, sermon ideas will sit in my folder for months, weeks, years. I don't know. They sit there until they mean something to me, until I really think I need to use them. Other times, I'm reading along early in the week and I come across a verse that just jumps out at me. I've never really looked at it before, and I think that's what I've got to talk about this week. This week is one of the jump out of the book verses, and that's what the sermon's going to be built around. Colossians chapter 4 verse 2 is the verse if you want to go look it up. It's a verse about prayer. And I know we've talked about prayer lots of times. You've probably heard lots of classes and lots of sermons about prayer, but this sermon is called A Surprising Benefit of Prayer. Colossians 4 verse 2 talks about some things that happen when we pray properly. And pray properly may not mean what you think it means either. So come tomorrow and just hear all of this stuff. There's a way to pray that changes a lot of other things. And it's really beneficial. And I think if we got this, things would look different for us. I really thought it was interesting. I hope you do too. That's the sermon tomorrow. In our Bible study, we're going to continue our way through the book of Mark. We are in Mark chapter 5 now, and we're starting to take bigger chunks this time. And so probably 20 verses or so right at the first part of Mark 5 is a story about Jesus healing a demon-possessed man. Now again, you could look at that and say, it's got nothing to do with us. But it does. There are some principles in that story that are timeless. And not only timeless, but necessary for us to understand and us to see. So please go read that story. Think about what might transfer to today very well, and bring those things. We'll talk about them in Bible study tomorrow. So, one other thing to think about, in a week's time, I'm thinking about hosting a coffee morning, having coffee before church. And so we'll talk more about that tomorrow too, but that's going to be next Sunday, just a chance to get together and have coffee before Bible study starts. Just a chance to visit and hang out a little bit. So we'll tell you more about that when you show up to church tomorrow. See you then.